Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here to talk about decentralized science and the broader crypto markets, all of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt from yesterday. Well, where is it today? Bitcoin is currently sitting higher than the daily open from yesterday, which means all of that uncertainty and FUD that happened is now gone. We got Mandy over in the corner on the couch in the office listening to the live stream. She is a loyal supporter. I am 100% certain that she has already hit that like button on the live stream. I got 2 thumbs up from her. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 likes. Please go ahead and give us a boost because Trump is buying our bags, guys. Trump is boosting the market. We have a lot of things to go over as it pertains to Trump, and then we're going to get into some of the news. One of you guys unliked the live. Show, who is it? Expose yourself right now. Pause.
I still see 5.
Well, my data says 4, so.
And now I see 8.
Oh, let's go, baby. Let's go. 10. Oh, we are rolling it in. I would long the likes on this if I could. Can someone make a prediction market for likes on that investor's live streams?
It was C90, by the way.
C90. God damn it, C90. All right, what's going on? GM C90, GM Zaj. Good morning, Beagle. Oh man, Noah's here bright and early in the afternoon for him. Good morning, Zach. What's good, Stare? How's it going, MK? Martin's in the chat. We got Marjin in the chat. We got Johnny's here. We got Broski Crypto. I'm loving the name. We got Mandy Graham. LOL. Bullish. Bullish, bullish, bullish. We are here and ready to go, Camille. Absolutely. So this is Bitcoin's daily chart. I drew a little rectangle here in where consolidation is happening and areas of contention. So this little area right here is a clear area of contention on Bitcoin. We have a very exciting moment in this exact moment because C90 just gifted 5 those investors memberships. Welcome in to that investors cult. Erkin. Welcome Erkin, welcome Remy, welcome Boa, welcome 000, welcome San Diego Sherry. Happy to have you guys in with us in the chat. W for C90, absolutely. WWW. Remember, all of the money that I make off of YouTube is getting donated to a local charity around the Atlanta area to help with human trafficking because I hate human trafficking. I think it's vile, despicable, and Atlanta, unfortunately, is one of the meccas. Get it from the song? Welcome back, Gert. Gert is back. Welcome. Yeah, so as I was saying, Bitcoin right now, we had a giant wick yesterday where everything was just falling off a cliff. And that was from a lot of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that came around with AI. And I want to talk just briefly about why that was such a fearful moment for the market and why it was eaten up and came back to normal so quickly. And that has a lot to do with the fact that the United States spends an aggressive amount of money every year on artificial intelligence and training these models. And then China came out and said, hey, we can train it for a fraction of the cost. And everyone was like, oh my God, what if we stop spending all this money and everything slows down a little bit? But then they got exposed with their pants down, as they often do over at China. No offense, China, but they are grifters. Mandy just gifted 5 that investor memberships. W Mandy.
I don't know, I haven't done that before.
I know, what the heck, man? No, this is perfect. Thank you. W Mandy. Hell yeah. C90 is no longer the only one carrying the boats and the logs. Welcome in to the cult, Crypt and Karen and that guy, and Disclosure Crypto finally got one. W. Unknown Water also got a membership, so let's go. Welcome in, guys. Appreciate all that. Appreciate the support. And it really does mean a lot, guys. It really does mean a lot. But Bitcoin sitting at $102,800. What is Bitcoin dominance sitting at right now? Bitcoin dominance slowly continuing to creep up. We hate to see this, but every time there is extreme FUD in the markets, Bitcoin dominance gets an aggressive push up as people kind of get out of their risk assets and get back. Oh, it just ticked down. Get back into the king that is Bitcoin. I'm hoping eventually we do see that crack downwards. My circle was a little bit off here. A little bit off, but not that far off, all things considered. I'm still going to remain with my target for the end of Q1 to have dominance down around the low 50s, around 54%, which would correspond to a really glorious time in our portfolios, considering most of us are altcoin dominant. So this downward trend that happened at the same time that happened last year, This downward trend, we made a disgusting amount of money. This little downward trend, we made a disgusting amount of money. And now it's continuing to climb up. I'm hoping, and I do still firmly stand in my position, that Bitcoin dominance will fall at the end or during Q1. And it will spark off a pretty glorious rally. And then we will have a decision point, right? And these are due to the moving average ribbons. If I go out to the weekly chart on Bitcoin, I didn't just aimlessly draw these circles. I drew them based off of the moving averages. So I drew it right on the moving average here, but we hit it back here. I drew another one down on the 100-day moving average. And then we're at a decision point where I thought we would ride the 100-day moving average, or the 100-week moving average, excuse me, and either get a Bitcoin rally like crazy or an altcoin rally like crazy. Either way, we're gonna watch and react to the market accordingly. I talked about the dollar falling yesterday and how the dollar was falling while Bitcoin was falling and how they're very tightly correlated right now, which is pretty peculiar, but we're in a very peculiar stance in the market because tomorrow we will be getting the Fed minutes. We're actually have a very, very hot economic week in the market this week. A lot of cool things are coming out. We got PCE, which is like the core inflation. It's the real meaningful inflation metric. We have a lot of things. I was looking at it this morning, but I've done a lot of stuff this morning, so I don't actually remember all of them. We should pull up the economic calendar before we talk about the Fed minutes. And then I have some very interesting videos to show you guys that Trump has been speaking a lot of very bullish things. And then I have some proof to back up a lot of those bullish statements from Trump's activities on chain, which is really cool to see. And then of course the DeSci news. I know you guys are here for the DeSci news, but it is important that we also view the economic news because the economy influences basically everything. So Tuesday, which is today, we have the durable goods at 8:30 a.m. We at the 9 a.m. already happened the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index. So we get the housing market. The previous was 4.2. Median forecast was 4.3, and that came in exactly at 4.3. I know in our local market, because I keep an eye and do kind of channel checks IRL as much as I possibly can every time I go out, I'm seeing an aggressive amount of homes going for sale right now. A lot of houses in our particular region of the United States are trying to sell. And so I would venture to say it's probably similar for a lot of you guys. The Shiller index is very much a lagging indicator, and so it's not going to give us that data. So by doing these channel checks, these IRL check-ins when you're out and about, you actually get a better sense of the economy. For example, one that you guys are going to hit at home, if you have recently tried to purchase any eggs, you will notice that the shelves are empty because of the bird flu that's going around. They have to burn a lot of these chickens to try and stop the bird flu, thus driving the price of eggs up, and a lot of the shelves are empty at this current moment. So a little bit of inflation, but that happens all the time. That is something that happens very, very consistently. Creator bid tokens are stacking up. Yes, sir. Yes, those points are accumulating like crazy. We can talk about all that as well. I have a hard stop at 12:59 today because I have a meeting that I have to be timely for at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I do apologize for that, you guys. Tomorrow, though, we have the FOMC meeting with the interest rate decision. Now, this is going to be interesting, not the decision in itself, because the decision's already been made with 100% accuracy. We will not be getting a rate cut at this meeting. The next meeting, though, it is still up in the air. Whether 70% of the market says we won't be getting a rate cut next meeting, and I think a lot of the data supports that they shouldn't be cutting rates right now, but Trump has come out very explicitly bearish on the Federal Reserve, very bearish on the IRS, and very dovish in his stance on what rates should be doing, meaning he wants rates to come down, and he's going to do, I think, whatever he can to make sure that rates go down. Zero Ozo got a message deleted by Beagle. What is going on with my throat? Why do I keep... Hold on, I'm going to mute myself so I can cough. Yes, I know I was muted. I was mouthing the words. You guys should know what the words are. Okay, so don't be surprised. Tomorrow, 1 day, 1 hour, 48 minutes, Jerome will be issuing the interest rate decision. They're not going to raise rates. The market isn't even expecting like any probability. Nobody thinks they're raising rates. So that is good that the market already knows that, but it is going to be interesting what they say after, and we'll talk about that after the fact. We'll be live right before the meeting, and I will try and make a little bit of content in our private groups, both Telegram and Discord, with my thoughts on what is said after the meeting. I don't know that I will have the time to live stream the actual meeting, although if enough of you guys want to. All right, MK. Okay, mods, start a poll. Should we live stream the FOMC meeting? Although, wait a minute, before I do that, I have to check what time it is at, because we have a very important thing tomorrow. FOMC meeting at 2, or rate decision at 2:30 is the meeting. Were you raising your hand? Yes?
I am. Did you know that the White House is pausing federal grants and loans starting today?
Shit. Trump is cutting spending like a madman right now. I did not know that.
Just came out.
So Trump is cutting federal grants and federal spending as of today, right?
As of today, that's what it says. It's Fox 11, Los Angeles.
Can you send it to me so I can pull it up?
Yep.
On Telegram?
Share.
He is doing a lot of things right now. So it would be a little bit tight because we have the X space tomorrow at 3 p.m. to highlight Quantum Bill. We have a very exciting live stream, or X space tomorrow, again, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I expect all of you guys to show up to it. I'll be making the official announcement today, shortly after the live stream. But we're going to go through kind of Bill's quantum roadmap tomorrow on the X space. And I think you guys need to pay attention to that, as it is groundbreaking in the world of artificial intelligence. It is quite literally one of the most groundbreaking events. Obviously, I'm biased, so take it with a grain of salt. Should we live stream the FOMC meeting? Yeah, start the poll.
Did you know right now he's making comments at the World Economic Forum?
That makes sense.
Right now.
Oh, okay, he's speaking in this exact moment.
Listen to this one too, yeah.
Okay. Could you listen for anything that,
Yeah.
if you don't mind?
I'll try.
I know I'm taking you away from your other responsibilities.
Yeah.
Blech. Okay, but let's go ahead and play some of the stuff that's going on from Trump himself. So I'm going to put my headphones on. We're going to go over to some of the pulled up comments that he's made. I'm sure all of you guys have seen it, but I want to talk about it and discuss it. So,
he's live right now.
Yeah, can you listen for any key things?
Yeah, I just don't have my headphones. I'll get them.
Do you want me to get you your headphones?
I got it.
Okay. All right, I'm turning up the volume.
Again, and it's going to happen very quickly. It's time for the United States to return to the system that made us richer and more powerful than ever before. You know, the United States in 1870 to 1913, all tariffs, and that was the richest period in the history of the United States, relatively speaking. In other words, relatively. And they set up the Great Tariff Commission of 1887, and this commission had one function: what to do with all the money that we took in. It was so enormous that they had no idea. It was a blue ribbon committee. It was set up 1887, and what to do with all of the money that we had. And again, Teddy Roosevelt was a beneficiary, because when McKinley was killed, he took over this vast sum of money, and he did all of those national parks and all of the other things. And I'm not knocking him, but he was given a vast amount of money, and that was all made through tariffs. We had no income tax. The income tax came in 1913. As I said in my speech last week, instead of taxing our citizens to enrich foreign nations, we should be tariffing and taxing foreign nations to enrich our citizens. Does that make sense, right?
Oh, it makes a lot of sense, President Trump. It makes a lot of sense. So that's why he's toyed with the idea of creating the External Revenue Service and abolishing the Internal Revenue Service, which is a very, very bold claim, but it actually does make a lot of sense. And we can get into some of the conspiracy behind it, which shockingly involves the Titanic and the creation of the Federal Reserve to enrich the elite at the expense of the peasants within the United States. Now, President Trump says he will either fire all of the 87,000 IRS agents or move them to the border, which is pretty nuts. Actually, one of the most insane things he said. Yeah, he might actually do this, guys. He might actually do this, which is even more insane when you consider the fact that Eric Trump just confirmed US-based crypto projects will benefit from zero capital gains tax. So US-based crypto projects, which should potentially go into the US stockpile of US-made or US-created crypto companies and crypto tokens, no capital gains tax potentially on those projects is massive and seems like a pipe dream. But with what Trump has been saying, it really does feel like he is bound and determined on making it so that this is the golden bull run that everyone has been teasing and talking about for an extended period of time. It really does sound like his actions are gearing us up for that. So this week, there's been some big news for US-based crypto projects. Eric Trump confirmed that US-based projects like XRP and HBAR will eventually benefit from zero capital gains tax, while non-US-based projects face a 30% tax. Additionally, Senator Ted Cruz plans to use the Congressional Revenue Act to challenge a controversial IRS ruling requiring DeFi brokers to report user data. Oh my God. Critics, including Cruz, argue the rule stifles innovation and infringes on privacy. While growing support, Cruz's efforts could lead to changes in crypto tax regulations in favor of innovation and decentralization. So, WTF, guys. What on earth is going on? This is some of the craziest pieces of information that I think nobody was really expecting to actually pull through on it. So if any of this stuff can pull through, it's setting up the United States for where we wanted it to be for long-term thriving of crypto, our bags, DeFi, DeSci, DPIN, DAI, I don't care what you want to call it. If it's Web3 based, they're incentivizing people to build it here in America, which they already have an incentive to do that because it's America. Cue the flying eagles over my head and the rockets and fireworks, whatever you want to put. It's America, and most people want to do business here in America, but it's been so hostile for people to do business in America when they're talking about Web3. So people just choose not to do it here. And so these regulations and these, even if any of them go through, is just going to bolster the US, which will be really good for the long-term health. And all of these actions are being backed up on chain all this talk is being backed up on chain, in my opinion, with actions from Trump and Liberty Fi, which is a Trump associate, Trump family organization. So the current asset holdings, $188 million of Ethereum, $66 million of wrapped Bitcoin, 61 of staked Ethereum, which is insane. I think they're one of the biggest staked validators for Ethereum's network. 37 million of USDC, 11 million of USDT, so they still have $48 million to deploy. 10 million of Tron, which is wild. 6 million of Link, 6 million of Aave, and 4 million of ENA, which I don't know what ENA is, but they've been continuing to just buy the dip, scoop up as much as possible. And I want you guys to think for a second with me, okay? Little thought action. Nancy Pelosi, at the start of this year, sold all of her Nvidia. You guys know Nancy Pelosi is one of the best stock traders in the world, or sorry, her husband is one of the best stock traders in the world. And she sold a bunch of Nvidia right before Nvidia had a 20% drawdown in their price. They executed a series of call options that they'd been holding on to with a strike price down at like $15, and then sold off all of the executed shares that they had then acquired at that cost basis of $15. Absolutely insane. It's all insider trading. I think Trump is probably up to the same thing right now, knowing that he is going to be sparking a legendary bull run in crypto. He has been buying at the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, it's not directly his holdings, but Donald Trump's project, World Liberty Fi, just bought Ethereum. That was 21 hours ago. You can go see it all on chain. So he is not just talking the talk. He is, in fact, walking the walk. And then, of course, at the same time, we have the dev selling Ethereum, aka Vitalik, the foundation. Ethereum Foundation continues to sell some Ethereum, which is a bearish look, as they are often akin to timing local tops in the market, which I think we can all agree we just went through one. It is silly to see anyone selling Ethereum at these prices, in my humbled opinion, but of course, they need funds to continue operations. And we know Vitalik is taking over more and more of the operations at Ethereum Foundation. He's becoming more prominent in their role. So he's probably just like, yo, guys, I know we're bullish on the market and everything, but we need money to actually fund everything. So I think Axon is American. I might be wrong. No, it is American. I remember at the NVIDIA AI Summit in March last year when Axon invited me and Leo, Crypto with Leo, out to the summit with them. We saw Axon, or Chris from Axon, the CEO, having conversations with members of the SEC. And the SEC was giving props to Axon for how they've been abiding to US regulations and how they approached everything. So Axon is actually very compliant. Axon DAO, ticker AXGT, is actually very positioned very well for this. AXGT. Remind me to come back to Hempy for a minute. I want to talk about Hempy. I know they're down 10% and they are sitting. This is not the correct Axon AX. I mean, I know it is, but oh, the 5 snuck in there. So they're down they're down 0.28%. They have an FDV of 217 million, a market cap of 80 million, and they're chilling at a very, very strong support, a very strong area of contention. The first spike that's been tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't even know if 10 times they've been tested in this area of contention. So a quarter per Axon token is clearly a very strong area to pay attention to. I think we'll see a nice strong bounce. I think a lot of these purchases look very orchestrated, right, to show strength here. We'll see what actually ends up happening, but it is super bullish. And remember, they have 2 tokens. They have the governance token, AXGT, and then they have the security token, AXDT, which you can't trade. You won't be able to find to purchase. But that's why they're getting that round of applause from the SEC, is because they've created that clear differentiation between the 2 tokens. So super bullish news. My mouth is dry once again. I'll take a sip of my kombucha. Tastes great, less sugar. Another US-based crypto, Bill, the DeSci guy, positioned quite well. We had that giant pump that happened and then quite a bit of a sell-off. Remember, all of the money that gets sold, Bill takes a 2% allocation into the treasury. I think he's nearing 10 Ethereum in his treasury, which is a very sizable amount of Ethereum to have. And it looks like if we get a bit of a bounce here, it looks as if we are entering back into a little bit of an uptrend, only speaking towards the chart right now. Of course, if you guys are interested in updates on Bill, attend the space tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on X. I will be making an announcement around 1:30 today. We go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about decentralized science and the broader crypto markets. And Agent Bill is a world-class agent being trained on Dynex's quantum network. Bullish. Trump better pull through. Facts. The best to ever exist. I know. Bullish. Not sponsored, but it should be. Facts. Facts, facts, facts. Okay, now on to some of the other exciting things that we are to address, currently speaking. Is there anything, Mandy? She's in the trenches. A little hopium for you guys from Ash. We have CZ down here responding to it with little eyeballs, but I repeat, do not panic sell. This is the last shakeout before we see Bitcoin making new all-time highs. ETH breaking 4,000 and alts pulling 20 to 50x's. Hold tight, boys. We will make life-changing money in the next 3 to 6 months. While I agree with this premise, it is slightly ironic that this feels like stuff that gets repeated over and over and over and over again. But it is pretty damn true every single time. I mean, look at that. We entered a new weekly candle. It's green right now. We're green on the week, guys. Bitcoin is actively breaking out, and I will maintain my circle up here at $160,000. Don't forget Hempy, sir. Yes, thank you. Okay, let's go back to Hempy, because this is a rather cool project that is in DeSci. It's also tied into the bioprotocol family. I own a large bag of it. I was accumulating through this rally, and then I have not accumulated much more of it during this downtrend, although I probably should have because they're up 38% today. But Hempy is an IP token that came from Valley DAO. Valley DAO is a bioprotocol launched DAO, which is focused on synthetic biology for climate change. And Hempy is their first soiree in the world of actually deploying research and having actionable results from that research. So they've studied an enzyme that can be used on hemp to make hemp more durable and better for clothes. Hemp is more sustainable than cotton, uses less water, produces more fiber in their yield. And recently, back in I think 2018 or 2017, the United States government lifted a lot of the restrictions that had stifled hemp as a textile. And so Hempy is their AI agent associated with the intellectual property around this enzyme. They're creating a textile-based company around it. It's sitting at a $578,000 market cap. I think this will fill the wick this bull run, if not far exceed the wick, which is a 10x from here. Meaning I'm only saying a $5 million market cap, and that was still going to be vastly undervalued at where I think it will be 5 years from now. But obviously you guys are more interested in the short term. Would not be surprised to see some explosive momentum when the market starts opening up here. 49 minutes ago, they had a $1,000 sell order. No, I don't know. Obviously you don't have a crystal ball, but it is super, super bullish. On another news for bullish announcements, we have stuff. Thanks, Obama. How many X can HBAR do? Good question, Pisces. Let's talk about HBAR for a second, because I have a video on YouTube which consistently churns more and more views. Also, Arkham has a token, $400 million market cap. I think this is a gem in the market. I don't own any, although I probably should. I would much rather pick Arkham over HBAR, but let's talk about HBAR for a minute, because they just partnered with ICP to integrate ICP into their framework for stuff. I haven't read up too much on it, but it is a very bullish announcement for both HBAR and ICP. I am a huge fan of HBAR as it pertains to a company, okay? So the company has a governing council. I forget how many people are on it, but they have large institutions. Literally, let's go look it up for a second, actually, because it's actually mind-blowing who is sitting on their governing council. And these people are making the decisions for where HBAR is to be implemented and what kind of use cases they want. And so these people, so they have 39 seats on the governing council, and it right now is made up of the likes of people from Boeing, people from Dell, people from LG, people from Google, Hitachi, people from DeSci Telecom, aka AT&T, Ubisoft, that's kind of cool, WorldPay. So you can see there's a lot of institutions. Standard Bank is on this. These people are positioned to drive HBAR to be the tool that they need, right? So they have a very strong business model here, in my opinion. The problem was, and where I made the video on YouTube, it was a short video that still churns views and still gets hate comments. And they're like, I made money on HBAR. You were wrong. This video didn't age well, but the video did in fact age well, because I posted it back here in 2022 or 2023 saying I feel bad for anyone who purchased HBAR over the last year because of the dilution that the token was facing. If you go look at market cap, the market cap of HBAR is sitting up twice as high as where it peaked last cycle, yet the price has yet to actually reclaim the token valuation compared to last cycle. So this is something you need to pay attention to, and why you don't hold, HBAR is succeeding. If you look at the fundamentals behind HBAR, it is playing out exactly how everyone thought it would. It is succeeding perfectly. Only you don't get to experience those gains because of the dilution. Now the dilution is basically over because the circulating supply is now at 38 billion with a max total supply of 50 billion, meaning the dilution is virtually done. So if you had paid attention, you would have been scooping it as it neared the end of its dilution, knowing that we're going into the bull market, knowing that it's positioned very nicely, and you would have made good amounts of money if you'd been buying down at 5 cents, going up to 30 cents. You're already up a good amount. I wouldn't be that surprised to see HBAR chilling up at close to $1 this cycle, but that's about it. So if a 3x is worth the risk to reward for you, understanding then we'd be at a 35-ish billion dollar market cap, then yeah, go for it. But I, for one, like a minimum of a 10x. If I'm going to put money in something, I want a minimum of a 10x. And I understand that requires a lot of risk, but the way that you reduce your risk is by increasing your knowledge. So if you can educate yourself on what it is you're putting money into, you actually reduce the inherent risk associated with that investment, because risk stems from ignorance. If you can remove that ignorance blocker, then your risk profile goes down. My evidence of that, I'm not just making baseless claims here, is if you go look at ResearchCoin, by all intensive measures, by all measures in the traditional markets, if you had been scooping up ResearchCoin down at a $1 million, $2 million market cap, you're taking excessive amounts of risk, right? Because it's so small, you don't know what's going on. But if you remove that ignorance blocker and you educate yourself on what exactly is ResearchCoin, you would discover that they are positioned better than most projects in the world, actually. They have Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, as their CEO of ResearchHub. ResearchHub is also set up perfectly to capitalize off of some of the initiatives that our government here in the United States have been making. They, in 2022, at the end of 2022, they passed legislation saying that all government-funded research needs to be posted on open access platforms rather than the traditional model of gatekeeping platforms that you have to pay to view. ResearchHub already has an entire economic model based around that open access for preprints, and they're segueing into an academic journal, meaning they will be positioned very nicely to capitalize off of this swing that's coming at the end of this year. They have to, by the end of 2025, have all academic publications on open access platforms. ResearchHub, Noble Blocks are positioned beautifully to take advantage of that. So just some food for thought there on why you should educate yourself, because we were able to spot this, lose money on it at first, and then see some crazy gains, right? So, and now it's sitting up at a $650 million FTV, $73 million market cap, which might shock you guys, because this now has to go through the same thing that HBAR just went through, right? Where HBAR had massive dilution. We're going to experience a 10x dilution event in ResearchHub, which means if it were to stay at this current market cap, but dilute all the tokens, you're going to see ResearchCoin fall by 90%, which would put it down at 6 cents. However, if you educate yourself on this, okay, if you educate yourself a little bit, you'll realize that the dilution is going to take place over 10 years. And they have a max dilution of 5% a year. So if you think ResearchCoin can outgrow 5% per year, then it becomes an entertaining investment opportunity, right? Again, that education comes into play. The problem with HBAR, and this is where I'll wrap it up, is that if you looked at the dilution event for HBAR, you were going to see that from 2021 until 2024, it was experiencing aggressive dilution to the tune of like 4xing the amount of tokens that were in circulation. So that hopefully clears it up for you guys and gives you an idea of where my thoughts are. I used to do this kind of stuff on TikTok Live all the time. I really loved talking like that, but then TikTok had to ban me. Up next, Poseidon DAO. Let's see what you guys are saying about anything over 1 billion is too high of a market cap. Potentially, you can see some crazy gains with stuff over 1 billion, like just for example, Trump coin got in at 3 billion, rode it to, I think we rode it to like 60 billion, so we didn't take the whole thing, but that was crazy good gains, right? INJ. I prefer to hold over HBAR, Jasmine, Link, INJ, my breath. Oh my God. For me, LOL. The only hub I give my money to, ResearchHub. Also the only hub that's allowed in my state. All right, so Poseidon DAO is more critical than ever for the future of science. This week, US science funding faces an unprecedented crisis. This is also bullish catalyst to push decentralized science forward, is what we're about to read here. So the NIH grants reviews are frozen, halting billions of dollars in research funding. Early career researchers and transformative projects are left in limbo. We need solutions now, right? So Trump halted all US involvement with the NIH for grants. So they've had to freeze research funding, which is a bullish catalyst for decentralized science. Only most people don't know that. The current system for funding science is centralized, biased, and inefficient. Political influences, inequalities, and funding delays hurt innovation and stall critical research. But what if we could fund science differently? This is why Poseidon DAO is so crucial. Using blockchain, we're cutting out inefficiencies, democratizing decisions, and directly empowering scientists. Why does this matter? Personalized medicine research is urgently needed for diseases like cancer, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, and more. These therapies can save lives, but traditional funding mechanisms can't keep up. And now there will be even more competition to receive traditional funding. We need to think outside the box, and this is why DeSci will flourish. Sorry, I have a little toy here that just broke apart. Okay, put it back together. By funding projects globally and directly, Poseidon DAO bypasses the bottlenecks and biases of centralized systems. Researchers get the support they need, and the community decides what research gets funded. With the current freeze on US science funding, the stakes have never been higher. Poseidon DAO is building a future where science thrives no matter the political or economic landscape. Let's take action. At Poseidon DAO, we're building the future now. Yeah, I'm going to bookmark this because I'm going to honestly make my video today on this. This is unprecedented stuff that's happening from Trump right now. The amount of catalysts for DeSci have quite literally never been so bullish. And I mean that truly. It's just a matter of educating everyone, which is where Bill comes in play. Bill should be making content on this, but he's still training. Maybe I should talk about it at another time, another video, but like you go look at what happened with DeepSeek, right? DeepSeek came out and caused a bunch of stir in the market because they trained a model quicker with less money than OpenAI. The reason why OpenAI and ChatGPT is so advanced is because we've spent $500 million and like 7 years training that damn model to be as advanced as it is right now. Bill, we've spent 2 months and like 10 grand training him out of our own money, right? And like it takes a while to get these things to be good, right? It takes a long time to get these things to be good. So hopefully that's where the quantum enhancement is going to come into play, in which we can then train Bill in a fraction of a time, like 1/100th of the time. Meaning if it took OpenAI 7 years to get to where it is, it could potentially take Bill on a quantum network only 7 weeks to get where OpenAI is, right? Crazy. You think being US based will have big price impact? Yeah, without a doubt. Good morning, Steven. It's all right that you're late. Don't you worry about it for a second. What if I told you there's a cure for cancer already? I would say I completely believe you, because I also believe that there is a cure for cancer already. It's just been siloed, and because we don't have open access to information, because DeSci is just becoming prevalent, we have not, anytime a cure does come and be developed, it gets destroyed by the government because it's not profitable to cure things, it's profitable to treat the symptoms. And I can go on a rant about how I know there's a cure based off of frequencies and vibrations, just like we talked about on live stream yesterday. Everything in the world is a manifestation of different frequencies. If you break it down to the smallest observable measurements, you get that everything is frequency based. Thus, if you were to potentially hit certain cancer cells with an inverted frequency of the ones that make up themselves, they could just dismantle. And there has been groundbreaking research decades ago that got stifled, and the person who was doing it died mysteriously. They were onto something. And quantum, specifically stuff with Dynex and the quantum microscope that Quantum Bio DAO is working on, is going to lay the foundation for that kind of research. But I am speaking a little bit too advanced for where currently the world is at. But I heard Mandy over there chuckling at something. What are you laughing at? I'm getting FOMO. What are you laughing at?
I'm watching the House GOP retreat speech that Trump gave.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay, I'll watch it later then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm taking note of timestamps.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So Poseidon DAO, yeah, the chart looks horrendous. Not horrendous, but the chart has been painful. We had a very strong launch, and until right here, everything looked beautiful for the progression of the chart, right? But now it's been going through a pretty down turn in the market, but it's not anything different than all of DeSci has gone through, right? Even if you go look at Bio, the #1 DeSci project out there, it's been bleeding like this for a while. So I am patiently waiting for the U-turn. This is no different than what happened over the summer, guys. Remember over the summer when DeSci bled, and then all of a sudden, without warning, it felt like we popped off in an instant? That's the kind of stuff that happens. That's why it's difficult to trade in and out of this stuff. You get wrecked. I mean, I took 20 grand that I had and I put it into meme coins. It's all gone, right? So there I am trying to chase momentum and chase all these hype narratives and be like, oh, look at me, I made so much money like all these guys on the internet do, flexing their Lambos and their stacks of cash and their P&L statements on X. And the reality of the situation is no. You pick your winners, you ride them. DeSci is my winner and I'm riding it. So if I have to sit through a downturn in Poseidon DAO, I don't care. I do not care. Zaya is doing really well, and I had stuff I wanted to talk about with Zaya as well. Zaya's up 16% today because we saw some KOL activity and some good groundbreaking news for Zaya. So I think I pulled up Zaya right here. Yeah, right here. Yeah, without knowing it, Sailor perfectly describes Zaya. There's a simple formula if you want to 10x your money or even 100x your money, and the formula is find something in the world everyone needs, nobody can stop, and few people understand. Find something in the world where everybody needs the number of pathologist diseases yearly while the number of patients continues to rise. Nobody can stop technological advancements, especially in AI, and few people understand. Very few people globally understand AI's potential, and even fewer people understand AI's potential in medicine. Zaya is the future of pathology. Are you ready to be a part of it? Now yeah, I already bookmarked it. That is a beautiful quote from Sailor. Find something in the world everybody needs, nobody can stop, and few people understand. That's why he's bullish on Bitcoin. That's why I'm bullish on decentralized science. Mel is a fun watch. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson also talked about a huge dude bending air. A what? Hugo dude bending air and levitating. Not saying he's wrong, but there's context for sure. Yeah, there's always context. Ooh shit, Adam Arrow with the gray box, the mysterious gray box around his name, is back in the chat. This is bullish. Let's do some analysis on what he's asking. Spell. S-P-E-L-L. Can you give me any context, Adam? This spell, the one up 33% today. That chart looks good on the 24-hour. On the 1 month, it looks really good as well. The 3 month, the 1 year. The max chart, but that does not turn me off from stuff. A lot of crypto charts end up looking like that. Let's check the market cap. So you can tell that there was aggressive dilution that happened. It's $300 million in market cap right now. Is this the correct spell, Adam? Can I get a yes or a no? I'm going to continue the analysis regardless. If we go over to the the X, borrow leverage and earn yield, borrow the magic, wizard, mim, spell, Discord. So they have 121,000 followers, which is really cool to see. It is in DeFi. I'm assuming it's DeFi AI. Let's check what's going on. Their engagement looks pretty dismal for 120,000 followers, but they probably gained a lot of their followers from last cycle. Proud to be building side by side with Layer 0 Core, pushing the omni-chain boundaries one mim at a time. So it seems as if they have a dual token model. I don't really do too much with DeFi because I'm a DeSci fill in the blank for a smart sounding word, but sorry, the abracadabra front end is not available in your current location. We apologize for the inconvenience. Thank you for your understanding. God damn it. Bearish. It's not US based, which means it's bearish. No, I'm just kidding. As far as the social sentiment indicator, I don't think it's super exciting. There's not as much engagement as I would like to see. I'm not seeing some crazy news causing the pump, so I am curious what is causing this pump. AIP 62.1 is now live for voting. Let's see what the snapshot is actually saying. Maybe this is give us some clues on what's going on. MIM swap deployment, that's cool. The first proposal to be put to a DAO vote involves deploying MIM swap infrastructure on Nibiru and opening the MIM pathway for users to bridge. So they're collaborating with a new network, which is kind of cool. You love seeing that. What markets are they on? They're on Binance, that's cool. They're on Gate, they're on Coinbase Exchange, that's really cool. Last updated recently, so this might be part of the reason. Maybe the Binance and the Coinbase Exchange listings were new. I don't really know. But yeah. Hopefully that helps. My thoughts on it, my 2 cents. Also, XCNACH been watching. Let's go check those out really quickly. I'm only doing this because you have a special gray box. It's not DeSci, therefore it's bearish. Exactly. Adam, you need to get involved in decentralized science. You know who Brian Armstrong is, right? The CEO of Coinbase. He has a DeSci project. Did you know that? Now you do. It's called Research Coin, and it's chilling at a $70 million market cap. Onyx Chain, I've heard a lot of good things about Onyx Chain. I've not particularly done any extensive research into it. It exploded, so I would not buy anything in this until you find a clear base, right? A clear floor in the price before it gets the next move. Right now, it's bleeding. Right now, it's on its leg down to find where supply meets demand. It could happen around 2 cents. I would keep an eye on it. If you're super bullish on it, it's probably not the worst idea to start DCAing, but you have to make that decision. I don't know any information on it, and we're slowly running out of time. And so the last one you had was ACH. I will check that really quickly. Alchemy Pay. Alchemy Pay was last cycle. Just being real. Alchemy Pay was last cycle. Had a crazy pump. Not to say it can't give you some good returns, but it's already decently large, and it was last cycle. It's not shiny. It's not new. So I don't really care about it. Again, not to say it can't give you some crazy gains, but it has been through a lot of dilution, actually. Look at that. So this, see how the chart looks smaller on price than it does on market cap? That means the market cap is exploding. The price is not necessarily. So it's at 4 cents. It was up at 15 cents, meaning it's a third of the price, but the market cap is chilling at 50%, which means they've gone through a large dilution event. Okay, let's steamroll through the last couple things I wanted to talk about, and then we will be on our way. Zaya. Yeah, this is part of the reason why the pump, prepare for the pump. We had Jolly Green Investor talk about Zaya on their page 20 hours ago, which is super bullish. Again, Zaya, I'm a big fan of. Zaya has those partnerships and those collaborations with governments. They have, it was the Indonesian government. They are already being used. They're already being implemented. They're a business that's segueing over to Web3. Joshua Jake is helping them a ton. Leo is helping them a ton, and they're getting a good amount of engagement on their posts. They also, I really like how they run their page. Zaya, I'm bullish. Best DeSci on Kraken and Coinbase. There is no DeSci on Coinbase, unfortunately, which tells you that you're early to everything that's going on. I think that will change this year, where Coinbase will start listing things, probably starting with Research Hub, because again, it's their CEO is involved with it, so there's a good potential there, especially with the regulations coming from Trump. But there is no, I don't know off the top of my head with Kraken, but there is an entire category on CoinMarketCap and or CoinGecko, sorry, DeSci. I would take a look at some of this stuff, and then I'll put the link there, and I'll give you the list that I have for people to pay attention to on X. Since you have that gray box, you must be official. You must be a cool dude. Where's my lists? Where is it? Am I stupid? Oh, it's at the top. So I'd pay attention to this list, and I would follow along. Come into the live streams. We talk about a lot of good stuff here. Copy link to list. These are some of the prominent figures in the space of decentralized science. I recommend following it on X. There's 645 followers and 107 people in the list. So it'll keep you up to date. Binance Research just posted about DeSci again. They're heavy investors in DeSci. Then we have WellShare. With the launch of DeepSeek R1, it's obvious that we are witnessing exponential acceleration in AI-based innovation. Decentralized science is poised to become one of the most impactful industries shaping by these breakthroughs. The fundamentals are stronger than ever. I completely agree with this. The next decade will be transformative, to say the least. WellShare is really solid. I'm getting is that a middle finger emoji from Pisces? God damn it. Am I ignoring you? Is that why? Now what? What are cycles in crypto? Are you talking about 21 through 22 or 23 Q4? That's a really good question, too much at once. I will be happy to answer that. Any news already about Trump buying Poseidon DAO? He must be investing heavily once he hears about it. Probably not Poseidon DAO because they're a Panamanian-based company, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some involvement with RFK in DeSci in this year or next year. It'll be interesting. Let me rapid fire really quickly the last two things I wanted to talk about, and then we'll talk about the cycles for a second. And The gray box is YouTube's version of a blue check mark. Ooh, bullish. Damn. I should get the gray. I want the gray box. How do I get the gray box? We are excited to announce our partnership with Spine DAO. Spine DAO being one of the newest releases from BioProtocol. They are not yet live, but they will be live in the coming months with the fundraiser. Some people in the Discord were talking about Spine DAO and how it's sus that a lot of the people, the contributors, have 0 followers. That's because they're scientists coming into crypto, not the other way around. So they're just starting to do their soiree in making content. But Data Lake is partnering with them. I assume to make it so that Spine DAO, anything that they post for research will go on Lake Chain. Lake Chain being an L3 on top of Arbitrum, on top of Ethereum. Pretty interesting to see because Lake.fun, that thing that they just launched, is a competitor to Catalyst. BioProtocol is the sister company of Molecule. Molecule has the Catalyst platform in which they launch intellectual property tokens, aka NFTs that have actual value behind them. And Data Lake is doing a very similar thing here with the funding. So I'd be interested to see exactly what this partnership looks like. This means GDPR compliant data management. Data Lake ensures that patient data contributed to Spine DAO is secure, anonymized, and used ethically. Seamless consent framework. Patients can transparently share their clinical and imaging data, empowering research and innovation, and scalable data storage. Data Lake provides the infrastructure to store and manage data sets. So super cool. I love to see this. Data Lake, as you know, is one of my biggest bags in DeSci. Data Lake, not super bullish chart, but that's kind of just the case with everything. They're up 7% today, $5.5 million market cap. Yeah, we'll see. I'm still gonna keep my circle here, hoping, praying. And of course, the last thing is Pump Science. Remember Riff and Euro? You remember Riff and Euro? How they went from $5,000 market caps to $250 million market caps? The next Riff and Euro are coming in February. A little sneak peek. Some of you guys may know this because they've already said it and teased it, but this is the first time I'm really coming out and saying it. I would pay attention in February. They launch on Pump Fund, meaning you can get in at virtually zero and ride this sucker very high. Maybe. We'll see what the current market looks like, but prepare for the excitement. I think they're launching 20 molecules through the month of February. So we're getting very close to it. Riffmas in February. Okay, now 4-year cycle. So most of you guys have already heard this. But let's go ahead and pull up the 4-year cycle chart on Bitcoin. Actually, let's just go do our own. So Bitcoin all-time history index, remove the moving averages, and zoom out to the weekly chart. So this is the all-time price history of Bitcoin. And every 4 years, we have hard stop in 1 minute. Okay, I'll be as quick as humanly possible. Every 4 years, the inflation rate of Bitcoin gets cut in half. At first, you would get 50 Bitcoin for helping mine a block. A block is every 10 minutes, and every 4 years, they cut that reward in half. So we just experienced that back last year around this time, April 2024. We experienced the halving, which is a world-renowned event for Bitcoin. And because Bitcoin is over 50% of market cap for all of crypto, most crypto follows the Bitcoin halving cycle, meaning every 4 years, we get an explosive repricing of Bitcoin and thus all of crypto after the halving. You can see it right now. We're starting to explode in price. Every single one of these yellow lines is the Bitcoin halving, and right after the halving, we get an explode in price. Halving, explode in price, halving, explode in price. And then we get a year of downturn in the market where everyone goes bankrupt and everyone thinks it's over. And so that's what everyone is talking about right now. 2025 is the year after the halving, which is the year that Bitcoin usually goes nuts, which is why everyone is piling into Bitcoin. And a lot of the things that are happening because of Trump, because of Republican sweep of the entire United States political landscape with the House, Congress, and the presidency, we are seeing the golden bull run truly line up. We have the ETFs, meaning money is going to flow in. Don't want Patrick to miss his interview for that job app. We can finally call that. God damn it, C90. It is not with the job app. It's actually with Poseidon DAO. Time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully this was worth investing it into. The 4-year cycle is super worth paying attention to. It looks like, I mean, we're in the middle of it again. So expect some explosions in price here in the coming months. All right. Thank you guys. And I will see you tomorrow.